Hi, I'm Paul Alessio, and I am a candidate for the Greyhawk Community Association Board of Directors. I've lived in Greyhawk since 2008 with my wife and two daughters. And during that 15 years, I also have served on the Board of Directors for Greyhawk. I've also served as the chairman for the Architectural Committee and also on the Executive Committee. So I've been very, very active with the Greyhawk Community Association. We absolutely love living here. We're going to answer a few questions here. And the first one is, what do you feel is the most important issue for the Greyhawk Community Association in the next year? I always feel, actually, the same question has been asked of me in the past, and I always feel very strongly that fiscal responsibility is probably the most important thing here in Greyhawk. And probably right behind that, I would say preserving our property values through the design enhancements that we do within the community and maintaining our assets. But the most important thing, fiscal responsibility, going through and making sure that all of our association dues are being paid and that we have a balanced budget. One of the things that has happened over the most recent recent years, is we've had a lot of inflation. So we've been having to take a look at our reserve study and making some adjustments to that so that we do have the adequate reserves to maintain our community in the coming years based on the inflation that we have here today. The second question that we have is, what can the association do to maintain or improve property values? And that goes back to the Architectural Review Committee. I serve on that committee. We meet twice a month. There's 7 members of us on that committee, and we spend a lot of time, anywhere from 1 to 3 hours typically in our meetings, going through anywhere from 10 to 15 submittals, making sure that the design intent is continued to be followed within the submittals that are being submitted. But we're also looking at any enhancements that we might be able to make within the community so that we're staying relevant with our competition, if you will, in our neighboring communities. So one of the things that we did here most recently is we went through every single one of the different communities and we looked at the paint palettes. We upgraded a lot of those colors to a more current color, and some of them we tried to grandfather some of those ones that maybe were a little bit outdated. We have a very large number of paint palettes that are available for each one of the homes and each one of the communities that we have. So we spent a lot of time in that. The other thing that we did relatively recently was we looked at our monument signs for each one of the different communities, and we did upgrade the colors and update those colors so that they had a little bit more of a current look to them. The other thing that we recently did as part of just a review, but in collaboration with the association, was the updating of the guardhouses. That was a pretty big project. I also, on the other side of what I do, I was able to help the association by reviewing the contracts and making sure that we're staying within compliance on those as it relates to all of the conditional and unconditional lien releases and reviewing pay apps as well. I think that really is one of the things that we can do to maintain and improve our property values, is to make sure that we are updating and staying current on all of our colors and palettes and design intents within the community. This next question we have is, in your opinion, what areas does the GCA Board of Directors need to improve? I think we can always improve on communication. It's really important for us to over communicate anything that's going on within the community, anything that we learn, whether it be fiscal responsibility, whether it be design upgrades, design intents, anything that we're learning that's going on within the community. There's a number of things that are happening that we are now starting to see a lot of development up here towards Greyhawk. There's a lot of development south of us, so we do see a little bit increase in crime activity, solicitation as well. So we're very aware of that. We're also very active as it relates to any submittals that might come in just through the city of Scottsdale as it relates to neighboring communities as well. So it's important to over communicate these items, and I think the association does a really good job of that, but I think we can always improve on increasing our communication of what we learn as a board of directors out to the rest of our community. The next question is, in what way do you think that you can enhance the board? I think that with my background in construction and development, also my background working with the city of Scottsdale, I was recently the chairman of the planning commission with the city of Scottsdale, and I served on the design development review board with the city of Scottsdale. I did that for about 6 years on the planning commission. That background serves us very well here in Scottsdale on the in Grayhawk, excuse me, with the board of directors. I bring a lot of that history, some of those contacts, understanding that process. I'm able to help enhance the board of directors. I've also served on a variety of different board of directors and development review boards, as well as architectural review committees in the last three communities that I lived in. Obviously, I've lived in Grayhawk for the last 15 years, but before that, I did spend time in two other communities, and I was on those board of directors as well as those architectural review committees as well. So I have a lot of history, a lot of experience specifically in community development, as well as a lot of architectural review experience as well. Do you think that you are capable of taking action that is beneficial to the community as a whole, even if you personally do not agree? I think the answer to this question is obviously yes. I think any candidate that would run for the Grayhawk Community Board of Directors would also definitely want to say yes to that question. There are times when you take a look at an issue within the community and it might not benefit me, but it might be good for the community as a whole. And if it's good for the community as a whole, then absolutely we need to be moving forward with that. Even if it's not necessarily best for me personally, I think overall the Grayhawk Community Association needs board of directors that are looking at what is best for us as a community as a whole. That is all the questions that we have today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my video, and I would really appreciate you voting for me for the Grayhawk Community Association Board of Directors. Thanks very much.